Every ship has a voice, a melody, machinery and subsystems that the crew learn intimately during long travels. The problem is, ever since the last mission, our ship sounds wrong. There's something foul in the way it's speaking to us. Barely audible murmurs, strange whispers, no machine could make. Dark corridors and vast halls almost seem to sing. Some of us have tried to locate sources of this interference, but they always seem 2 steps ahead, stalked by their never-ending presence. We soon started cracking up. Our engineer has cut some words into his flesh. When we asked why, he replied, incandescent secrets need to be written in blood. Then our navigator took a spacewalk without her suit. When we pulled her in, her entire face was frozen and cracked. She grinned in a way I'll never forget. Now it's got even worse. Noises turned into voices, sharing tales of slaughter and terror. They don't run from us anymore. They encircle us and herd us through the ship to some dark purpose. I need to understand them before it's too late. I put my hand on the pistol grip, look at the backs of my crew members. I see dark mystery swirling under their skulls. It would only take 2 bullet holes to release them.
Hello, welcome to the Board Game Den and Nemesis, Void Seeders. Game's set up and all ready to go, but before we start I'm just going to run through a few of the changes that you need to make to play with the Void Seeders. There's no slime mechanic in the Void Seeders variation, so one of the first things you do before you place your room tiles is you need to remove the room covered in slime. You also need to remove the 2 slime explode tokens, yay, and also the 2 silence tokens, boo. I'm using the turrets in this game, so I've added 3 turret explode tokens, and you also need to add 3 lair explode tokens. You place them on the board. You also place explode tokens in the 3 engine rooms, which is different from the base game, but when you do explore the engine rooms you'll ignore the item numbers because you can't find any items in the engine rooms. Because I'm adding in the turrets, there's going to be too many explode tokens for the board. You can have 3 over. So what I've done, which is a bit different from the rules, I've put in the turret tokens, mixed them up, taken 3 out without looking, put them back in the box, and then added the 3 lair tokens, mixed them up again, and then put them out as you see. The Void Seeder board is set up the same with your 5 eggs and Void Seeder weaknesses. 2 of the weaknesses you need to find, Intruder Carcass and Intruder Egg, are the same as the base game, but there is one different one, which is character insanity level. I'll explain that when we're in the game. In the Intruder bag I've placed 1 blank token and 2 random Void Seeder tokens, and then I've added an additional random Void Seeder token for each character in the game, so that's an extra 2. With the cards, we replace the event deck with the Void Seeder event deck. We replace the Intruder Attack cards with Void Seeder attack cards. There's also an extra deck, which is the Panic deck. I've also included the craft room as one of the rooms, so we're also going to be able to craft these additional items: the laser pointer, the Enviro suit, and the combat drone. Now we'll move on to the characters. A few days ago I put a post on the Nemesis Facebook page asking for people to vote which characters they'd like to see in a 2-player game. The characters chosen were the Bounty Hunter and the Convict. Now that we've got our 2 characters, we need to do one more thing with the Intruder bag. We need to add an insanity token for each character. There are a red one for the convict and the purple one for the hunter. The Aftermath expansion also adds trait cards for each character, which we'll be using in this game. And for the bounty hunter, we have Leica. Each game turn before performing your first action, you can move Leica to a neighbouring room or call her back, and you place her back on your character board regardless of the distance. When Leica is in the same room as the bounty hunter or an intruder, automatically call her back. When she's on the main board, she performs noise rolls as any other character during the event phase. She is considered as the player on the left of the bounty hunter. Leica ignores fire and is not attacked by intruders. The bounty hunter's quest cards. First one is Aggro Override, and we need to get to the surgery to activate this one. And whoops, with Aggro Override, when Leica should move from the room the bounty hunter is in, you can deal 1 injury to any intruder in that room instead of moving. And then the other one is Seat Mode. We need to discard a tool for this one. You can play a search action card to perform it in the room Leica is in. Afterwards, Leica returns to the bounty hunter's board. Okay, very handy card. And the bounty hunter also has rifle 247 with 5 ammo. The convict has the trait Tough. You only die when receiving any wound after your 4th serious wound instead of your 3rd. You can still be killed normally by Intruder Attack card effects. And his quest items are Augmented Arm. Activate this item in the surgery. So you can perform a rest action, or you can place this card on any of your undressed serious wounds. As long as it remains there, ignore that serious wounds effect. The other one is a pipe. Activate this item in any room. You only suffer a light wound when you miss during a melee attack action. If you should discard this card, flip it over instead. This item cannot be traded. The convict also has handcuffs and takes up one of his hand slots, so he can only use one hand while he's in handcuffs. There's a key card to open the handcuffs. Normally you give that to the bounty hunter, or if he's not in play you give it to one of the other players. But because I'm playing both characters, and obviously I'm just going to give the convict the keys straight away, what I thought I'd do to make it a little bit more difficult for myself is I've placed the keys card in the yellow item deck. I've just taken the top 3 cards, mixed them up and popped them there. So when one of the characters searches the room, there's a chance that they could find the keys. The final thing is the insanity track. This represents the insanity level of the character. The intruder tokens in Void Seeders is different from the base game. As you see, in Void Seeders there's just a number on rather than the symbol. And that's because when there's an encounter, the Void Seeder appearing depends at what level your insanity is at. So each character will start with an insanity of level 1, and that's it. We're now ready to start the game. Victor woke from sleep, disorientated and confused, the alarm assaulting his senses. The bounty hunter climbed from his stasis pod and looked around. What the? He croaked through dry lips. The walls were covered in symbols, written in what looked like blood. Across the room sat a naked man, his body covered in similar symbols. They'd been cut into his flesh. He looked around. All but one of the other pods were open. with no sign of their previous occupants. He looked back at the dead man. He remembered the man's name. It was Lou, one of the convicts he'd been taken back to Earth. Jess will be pretty pissed, he thought to himself. He walked over to the closed pod and looked in. It was his other bounty. It took a while for Jess to come around after Victor had turned off the pod. Victor explained the situation to him as best as he knew it. He was right, Jess was pretty pissed. "We need to kill who or whatever did that to Lou," Jess shouted angrily. "We will," Victor replied, "but we also need to search for survivors. We're also going to need to check the engines are still working and that we're still heading to Earth. Yeah, and I'm going to need these cuffs off if you want me to help." Replied Victor. "I locked them in a drawer and I can't remember where." "That's just great, man." Okay, so if it wasn't made clear from that little prologue, the bounty hunter's objective is no man left behind. He needs to send a signal and all rooms on the ship must be explored. There are some empty hibernation pods here. We need to make sure everyone is accounted for. And the convict's objective? Cutting off the head. Send a signal and the Queen must have been killed, or send the signal and the ship must have been destroyed. In a no-win situation, the least you can do is to go out with a bang. First player will be the bounty hunter. So we'll draw his 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See what we've got. Rest. Okay. Tactical move. Spend 1 ammo from any of your weapons. Move the character and an intruder in the room you are in to any neighbouring room without performing a noise roll. You do not trigger an intruder attack. Repairs. Sentinel. Play only if Luca is on the bounty hunter board. Discard this card to ignore a surprise attack, or discard this card when an intruder attack would kill you. Discard Leica, both trait card and miniature, and ignore this intruder attack. And then taking aim. Perform a shoot action with your energy weapon. You can re-roll your first result on the combat die. Okay. What we're going to do first is use the bounty hunter's trait. Each game turn, before performing your first action, you can move Leica to a neighbouring room. And so that's what we're going to do. So I think we'll send the bounty hunter forward to check the coordinates. And so we'll pop Leica in this room. And it's the airlock. Wow. That might come in handy. Start emergency airlock procedure. Oh, and straight away we found one of the layers. There's 3 items in the room. So the layers are the primary cause of the hallucinations that the characters are experiencing. And the layers are one of the few actual physical entities when it comes to the void seeders. So when you move into a room with a layer, you don't have to roll for noise, and the character in the room is considered to be in combat. The layers don't attack the characters, but at the end of each round that there's a character in the room, the character will need to perform a noise roll. Okay, so now we're going to move the bounty hunter. I was going to move him in a different direction, but I think what we'll do, as soon as we found one of the layers, we'll send him to follow the dog. So we'll use his rest card and we'll pop him in. That's his one action. And we'll use his second action to attack the lair. Yeah, let's use his taking aim. That is a hit, so that's 1 damage. That uses 1 ammo. We now need to draw 2 attack cards. And we take the lowest, so it's a 3, so it hasn't destroyed the lair. So it's got 1 damage. That's the bounty hunter's first round over, and because he's in the room with the lair, he's going to have to roll for noise. Silence, great. So now it's the bounty hunter's turn. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's take a look. So he's got bash. Perform a melee attack. You deal 1 additional injury, even if you miss. There we are. Good. Search. Demolition. Opportunist. You may perform a basic move action when you are in a room with another character. Intruders don't attack you during, I think that should say, that movement. Close the door in the corridor you move through. Nasty. Repairs, and back to bash. Okay, so Jess the convict is happy that Victor can cope with the lair, and he's going to head off and take a look at the engines. We'll spend his opportunist card, I think. We're moving down this corridor. We find, ooh, the turret room. We can control the turrets, excellent. And 3 items. And there's danger. We need to put noise in all the corridors around the room. That's great. And there's a vent, so we're going to have to put 1 in the vent also. Right, he's got a search card, so I think I'm going to use the search. He's in a red room, so see what we get. Oh, energy charge. Okay, no choice. And we're back to Victor. What I forgot to mention earlier on when he first moved in with the lair is that the despoiler, which is the equivalent of the queen for the void seeders, can't be injured or killed. The only way to destroy the despoiler is to destroy the 3 lairs. So let's see. Victor will attack the lair again, and we'll use his repair card. Oh yes, 2 hits. Obviously the ammo's gone. Up to 3 damage now. And we have, oh damn. Okay, so still not destroyed it. He's going to have to attack again. I think I'll use Sentinel. 1 ammo. He's down to 2. Yep, that's a hit. Forgot to mention that all you need is anything more than this to hit. So the only time you won't hit it is if you get a blank. So that's a 4th damage. Come on, that must be enough. Yes, great. He's destroyed it. When you destroy a lair, you place it on one of the spaces on the void seeder board, and you place a carcass token in the room. And that was Victor's 2 actions, so now we're back to the convict. Yeah, what I forgot to do on Jesse's turn when he searched was put this down to 2. Let's have a look. He's got no more search cards, so he can't search, so he'll carry on moving towards the engine. Let's have a look. We'll get rid of demolition. and move him down this corridor. No, we won't. We'll move him down this one so we can come across this way. Oh, we find the nest. Okay. So obviously there's going to be nothing in there. Oh, yes there is. There's another lair. So he doesn't need to roll for noise. Right, so he's got nothing to attack it with. Should he attack it with his fists? He will get a contamination card if he does. We've got the bash card. He will deal an additional injury even if he misses. So let's go for it. Discard that. Unfortunately, he'll have to take a contamination card. Come on, Jess, go for it. Oh, 2 hits. It's a melee, so he only gets the 1 hit. But because of his bash, he gets 1 additional, so he does 2 hits. Great. And he doesn't destroy it. That's the end of his round. Because he's in a room with the lair, he's going to have to roll for noise. 2. Oh, there's 1 already there. Okay, so we clear that off. Take the bag, see what we get. It's a 1. He's got 1 card in hand, so it won't do a surprise attack. And as I explained earlier, to see which type of Void Seeder we get, we look at his insanity track. He's level 1, so we'll get a lurker. Out of the shadows comes a lurker. So Jess is in a bit of trouble there, but now we need to go back to Victor. I think seeing as Victor's got a free hand and there's a carcass in the room, he's going to use this card to pick up the carcass. And that's the end of his turn. Jess has got the 1 card left, and I think he's going to try to escape. So he's going to run off down this corridor into the engine room. I'm going to take a Void Seeder attack card. See what we get. Nothing. The lurkers don't hit. He's safe. Great. And that is the end of the first turn. And we move into the event phase. First thing we do is move the time track down to 14. Then we will do the Intruder Attack. There are no Void Seeders in rooms with any of our characters, so there will be no attacks. Then we'll do fire damage. There's going to be no fire damage. And then we're going to resolve an event card. So the lurker will move down corridor 1. So he's going after Jess. So we have ship AI failure. If there are at least 2 malfunction markers in rooms with a computer, start the self-destruct sequence. Otherwise, place a malfunction marker in the room with the lowest number containing a computer. Okay, so let's see if we've got any rooms containing computers. So we've got the airlock, that doesn't contain a computer, the turret room doesn't contain a computer, and neither does the nest. So we don't do anything. Great. And then we go to an extra step, which is included with the Void Seeders, and that's lurking. So let's flip the card, see what we do. Lurking. Find rooms that contain any Void Seeder not in combat and with no character in any neighbouring rooms. Place a noise marker in each corridor connected to these rooms, unless there is already one. Remove all Void Seeders in these rooms from the board and add 1 Void Seeder token to the Intruder bag for each Void Seeder removed this way. Well, obviously We have no void seeders in any rooms on their own, so we're not going to do anything. And finally, we do the intruder bag development. It's a blank. Great. So all we're going to do is add a random void seeder token to the intruder bag and return that blank token. So here's the token, in we go, and the blank one I've already put back. So that's the end of the first turn. Now we move on to the next turn. So Jess, the convict, will become first player. We'll take 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See what we've got. Rest. Right, I need this. Discard this card to cancel any action performed by another player in the room you are in. The other player must still pay the action cost. This action cannot be interrupted. Or discard this card immediately after another character in your room performs a search action to get the card they discarded. Not so good in a co-op game, but might come in handy, that bottom bit, we'll see. Short temper. Use a room action without paying its cost, even if the room contains a malfunction token. Perform a noise roll in this room after that room action. Interesting. Catch this. Discard 1 heavy item. Move from the room you are in without triggering any intruder attack. Okay, interesting. Right, let's see what he's going to do. So, he's stuck in the room with the void seeder. He could attack it, but he's only going to do 1 damage, so I think he needs to leg it again. Yep, that's what he's going to do. Let's have a look. We will use his rest card. He'll come down this corridor. And we find the generator room. Initiate or stop self-destruct sequence. Yes. Yes, excellent. And it's malfunctioning and there's 2 items in there. And we'll take a void seeder attack card. And again it does nothing. Great. And we roll for noise. Was thinking on it now. I forgot to do when I escaped before, didn't I? Oh well, too late now. 3. Oh, you cannot be serious. Ah! Okay, remove that. Okay, let's see what we get. Okay, so it's an insanity token. So this is different from the base game. So we're going to pop this back in the bag. We need to place a noise marker in all the corridors around the room, and the player who triggered the encounter needs to resolve a panic card. So here we go. Right, first thing we do is check the insanity level, which is 3+. Jess's insanity level at present is only 1. So we know what's written on the card, and what we're going to need to do is just increase his insanity level to 2, and that's all we're going to do. Jesse's going to keep on moving, but he's going to move carefully. Get rid of that one and that one, I think. And he'll move into here and place a noise token there. And that's the end of Jesse's round. Back to Victor, and he needs to get moving. We've drawn 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. See what we've got. Demolition, search, Go, girl. You can move Leica to a neighbouring room or return her to the bounty hunter board. Oh, so that lets you move her again. That's really good. Search and interruption. Okay. What we're going to... Does she have to be in the room with you when she does that? You can... No? Great, okay. So, we will start by moving Leica. I think let's head Leica off down this way while we carry on making our way to the cockpit. So Leica's going to go down here. Comms room, excellent, because we're going to need to send a signal. And what we got? Oh, danger. Okay, 2 items in the room. Oh, just realised. So that comes off. We're going to get another lurker. So the lurker will attack the dog, but because the lurker's come out, the dog will go back onto the bounty hunter's board. Right, so for his actual first action, I think what we're going to do is send Leica off again. You can move Leica to a neighbouring room or return her to the bounty board. Well, yeah, I suppose we can take her off our board and just send her, can't we? I'm going to do that anyway. So, but I'm going to send her this way. Check out this room before we move in. It's the armory. Okay. Oh no, it's gun turrets. Okay, so it's a good idea to send her in first. There's 2 objectives. Where is it? There. Okay, light moves in. There we are, so we place a turret, gun turret there. Then we got 3 tokens, 3 different coloured tokens. And depending on which one is on top, depends what the turret's going to do. So let's give them a quick shuffle up. And what do we get? Green. Pop that on top there. And green means the turret is inactive. So that's good. Oh, we need to roll for noise as well, nearly forgot. 3. So that one's in the vents. And we shall get rid of the interruption. To move in, it doesn't need to roll because Leica's there. And that's the end of that's his second action, so that's the end of his round. Back to Jess. And what I forgot to do with Jess when he moved in there was he should have turned this over. Not used to having these in here. Oh my god, it's another turret. Okay. Let's give these a shuffle. This time we have yellow. Target the intruder. Excellent, so that one will only shoot at intruders or void seeders in our case. That's good news. We got 2 cards left. We're going to spend them both to see if the engines are working. Yes, working. Great news. And that's the end of Jess's turn. I think he's going to search. Yeah, let's search before we move on. Take the rune down to 1 item left. Energy charge, or a prototype rifle. Ammo 6. Every time you roll 2, you discard 1 additional ammo to deal 1 additional injury. Right, well, he's carrying the carcass. I think he'll just take the energy charge. And then he'll get rid of his demolition to move into the cockpit. Roll for noise. It's a 3. And noise down that corridor there. He's only got the 1 card left, so he's going to pass. And that is the end of the second turn. So we move the time tracker down to 13. Intruder attack, there's not going to be any intruder attacks, there's no fire damage. Resolve an event card. Okay, the lurkers are not going to move. Evacuation pod ejection. Oh. Remove the escape pod token with the highest number, remove this event from the game and reshuffle the event deck. Okay. There's only 1 card to put back in anyway, but give it a quick shuffle. There we go. Escape pod with the highest number is this one, 4. Then we go to lurking. So neither of the lurkers are in a room with a character, so we're going to have to place noise tokens all around. So we got 1 there. There's already 1 in the vents. 1 there. And 1 there. I'm going to remove both these void seeders and place a token in the bag for each one, so I've got 2 tokens here. And then we do the intruder bag development. Okay, so that'll pop back in the bag and each character is going to have to perform a noise roll. Jesse's first player, so we'll start with him. 4. Yep. Oh dear. His insanity level is now 2, so he is going to get a Whisperer. Victor. 1. Okay. He's lucky, he places 1 there. And that is the end of the turn. Victor becomes first player again. He's got the 1 card left over. So let's shuffle these up. Try with a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see what we got. Repairs. Sentinel, take aim, rest, nice search. Okay. Victor's in the cockpit, so he's going to check the coordinates. That's going to cost him 2 cards. Just thought before that though, it's the beginning of his turn, so he can move Leica. So we'll, where are we going to send her? He's just going to bring Leica back onto his board. And then he'll check the coordinates. Keep that. Definitely get rid of the rest card. And repairs. Okay, let's see where we're heading. Excellent, we're heading to Earth. Great news. So he doesn't have to do anything else there. That was his first action. For his second action, he's going to carry on moving and he's going to head down this corridor. He'll spend Sentinel. We got the surgery. And it's got a malfunction. 2 items. for noise. 4. This corridor. There we go. Now I'll go back over to Jess. He's used all his cards, so let's shuffle them up. Draw 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ah, contamination. Ooh, he's got bash. Demolition, search, opportunist. Okay. You may perform a basic move. You may perform a basic move action when you're in a room with another character, so no, that's not good. I'm just thinking the turret's in the room, and I just put that Void Seeder there in the last turn, should it have attacked it. Because it didn't actually move in, it just appeared there. It doesn't make it clear in the rules, but I came in, so I think we will give it a damage marker. Obviously he's not going to kill it, but we have to draw the card anyway. It's a 5. So what's Jess going to do? I think he's going to get the hell out of there, and we'll use his opportunist card. Move him and he finds the lab. Analyse one object. Oh, and the door slams shut. In he goes. Problem with Void Seeders though is that they take no notice of doors. They will just go straight through them. Attacks him as he tries to escape, and he takes a bite. If the character has at least 2 serious wounds, they die, which he doesn't. So he suffers 1 serious wound. And we have body. You draw up to 4 action cards instead of 5. And then you'll have to roll for noise as well. 2 in that one. Okay. So that was his first action. And for his next action, he's going to do his augmented arm, activating the surgery room. For his second action, he's going to move again. He's going to go into the other engine room. He'll spend demolition. Move in. Check this time. Yeah, it's malfunction. 2. That's okay. And that's the end of his turn. Victor's got 2 cards left. Seeing as Victor's in the surgery, he's going to do his aggro override quest, activate the item in the surgery. So that's going to cost him 1 card. And we do the take aim. So now, when Leica should move from the room the bounty hunter is in, you can deal 1 injury to an intruder in that room instead of moving. Great stuff. Then he will... Let's get moving, I think. He's going to spend his final card to move. Or should he? No, he's gonna search. He's in a green room. Oh, 2 of the same bandages. Okay. That's all his cards used up. That's the end of his turn. Back to Jess. Okay. So he's going to spend these 2 cards to take a look at that engine. And it's working also. So we're on the way to Earth and we've got 2 working engines. Great. So what do we need to do? We need to, both characters need to send a signal. We need to check out all the rooms and we need to kill the despoiler. So we need to finish off searching the rooms, then we need to get over here. We need to destroy that lair, and we need to find the other lair. And then once we've done that, we'll be able to head back to the hibernatorium and get back to sleep. So we move the time tracker, it's down to 12 now. There's going to be no intruder attack. There is no fire damage. Resolve event card. Okay, so the Whisperer will move down corridor 3, which is this one, so it will go straight through the door. And Fear. Every character whose insanity level is higher than the number of cards in their hand is dealt a contamination card. Well, that's both of them. Great stuff. What I meant to do when I finished Jess's turn was discard this card as well. So there we go. There's a contamination card for him and a contamination card for him. Then we do the Lurking. Okay, so the only Void Seeder we have on the board is this Whisperer. Now it is in a neighbouring room to Jess, so it's going to stay on the board and we don't do anything else. And we'll go on to bag development. Blank token. So I'll add a random Void Seeder token to the bag. And nothing else happens. Jess now becomes the first player. He's only going to get 4 cards because of his body injury. 1, 2, 3, 4. I need this, search, rest and repairs. Just noticed that there's a malfunction token in the engine room. It doesn't say in the rules what you're supposed to do because normally you don't get them there. What I'll do was I'm going to have to retcon this and we'll say, there we are, I've got a repair card which he didn't have at the end of the last turn. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to have to, I'll use this repair card and repair it. There we go. Okay. I know that messes us up a bit, but I don't see what else I can do now. So we'll just continue on. He's going to move, go down here to here. Gonna spend, I need this. And he finds evacuation section A. Right, that's good because that's the only one with a pod left in it. It's malfunctioning and there's 1 item. And that's his second action, so over to Victor. Draw 5 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay. Move like it. Oh, excellent. Okay, start by moving like her. We'll move her down this one, as soon as we've got the noise token there. The engine room. Check the status of the engines. Well, there we are. Oh, we found the other layer. Okay, there's 2 items in there. We don't need to roll for noise. So before we move in there, yeah, let's spend this, reload his weapon, make sure we've got enough ammo to take it out. He's got 2 left, but I'd rather make sure he's full capacity, so he's back up to 5. And we'll spend the demolition card to do that. Then he will, if he moves in, ends the round there, he's going to have to roll for noise. Got a search card. I think I'll stay where I am for now and I'll search the room again. Takes it down to 1. Make it off, draw another 2 action cards. Dress serious wound. What we got? We got bandages already. Dress a serious wound, heal a light wound. Yeah, let's take the synthetic food. Okay, so that's the end of his round. Back over to Jess. Seeing as Victor's going to head off this way, I think we'll head Jess up to these 2 rooms. So we will spend, oh wait a minute, he's in a yellow room. Yeah, he's in this room which is anything, so we can take it as a yellow room and then we can try and find the keys for the cuffs. So we'll search. Right, let's see. Oh, there they are. He's found the keys. Great stuff. So he gets the keys. And what was that? That was clothes. Okay. The Whisperer's going to move. He's going to move. Could move into one of these. So then it's not going to disappear on the lurking phase. So I think we'll get a move on. Let's get moving. So we'll spend the rest and move down this corridor to here. Evacuation section B. It's no good because there's no pods there. And it's malfunctioning. But there's 2 items. Right, the malfunctions are starting to build. Let's see, there's still 5 left to put on, so we're okay. Moves in. Roll for noise. 1. Oh, down the corridor we want to go. Yep. Okay, and he's out of cards. Back to Victor. Victor will use his interruption card to move in to the engine control room with the lair. And then he'll shoot it. So spend tactical move. Spend 1 of his ammo. Come on, let's get a good one. 1 damage. Okay. Goes on there. That's 2 actions. That's the end of his round. So he's going to have to roll for noise. Silence. Brilliant. Okay. Jesse's out of cards, so it's back to Victor. Oh, I'd like to use this to move like a but tough. He needs to get shooting the lair, so he's going to shoot again. Use his ammo. Come on. 1 more damage. Right, I forgot to draw the cards for the first attack, didn't I? So we'll do that first. And we get, okay, so it doesn't retreat. And we ignore this card anyway because of the retreat token. And now for the second attack. Come on. Oh, not again! Unbelievable. Okay, so nothing happens. And because he's ending the round in there again, he's going to have to roll for noise. A 4. Oh, boom. Okay, so his insanity level's 1, so we're going to get a lurker. So we get a surprise attack, for which we draw a panic card. +2, so his insanity is only 1, so we don't do what's on the card, we raise his insanity level. And that is the end of the turn. Move the time trap down to 11. No intruder attack, no fire damage. Event card. The Whisperer isn't going to move. Terror. Each character draws from their action deck until they have 5 cards in hand, and then scans all their contamination cards. If they have at least 1 infected result, increase their insanity level to 5. Oh no! Afterwards, all characters with an insanity level of 5 discard all cards from their hands. Right. So draw 5 cards. Only got 2. These. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's have a look. Nope. Nope. We're okay so far. Last one. Yes, we're fine. But we have to discard all these. They're going to the discard pile. Right, Bounty Hunter. Come on, Victor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's okay. Yep, okay. Okay, okay. Oh no! Okay. So, Victor's insanity goes straight up to 5. Uh-oh. Now we do the lurking. So it's not adjacent to anyone, so it's going to disappear from the board. We need to place noise markers all around the room. That's it. And we'll add a Void Seeder token to the bag. Then we'll do the bag development. What on earth is he doing in there? Okay, I must have put him in when I went to put a Void Seeder in, so we'll stick another one in there. There's a number, so we pop that back in the bag and everybody performs a noise roll. So we start with Jess. Oh, that. Oh, danger. Noise all around. Ooh. Okay. And Victor doesn't have to perform one because he's already in the room with a Void Seeder and the Lair.